Jose Mourinho ruined four players' careers during his terrible 2018-19 season at Manchester United. The man once called the Special One turned into football's most cruel villain, leaving players with broken confidence and crushed spirits. Victim number 1, Paul Pogba. The French midfielder had just won the World Cup, coming back to his club full of confidence and ready to show his huge transfer fee was money well spent. He arrived at United as a world champion with everyone's respect. But Mourinho, he had other plans. Instead of building the team around his best player, Jose started publicly shaming Pogba. After one game, he told reporters, "Pogba needs to learn what it means to play for Manchester United. This isn't Juventus, you have to work harder here." This was just the start. Jose took away Pogba's captain's armband in the middle of the season, then put him on the bench for big games, sometimes leaving him out of the team completely. All this even though the team played 36% better when Pogba was on the field. "I've never seen a coach treat his star player so badly," said former United defender Rio Ferdinand. "It's like he was trying to break him on purpose." The situation got worse during a training session caught on camera, where Mourinho and Pogba had an icy exchange that went viral online. The damage was done. Pogba, who could have become one of United's greatest midfielders ever, became a joke online. His playing time dropped, his confidence crashed, and his market value fell by €40 million in just 6 months. From World Cup hero to waste of money in only 150 days. Victim number 2, Luke Shaw. If you think Pogba had it bad, you haven't heard what Luke Shaw went through. The young English defender, just recovering from a terrible leg break that almost ended his career, became Mourinho's main target for mental abuse. "He has a good body but a bad football brain," Jose once said about Shaw at a press conference. Imagine your own coach saying that publicly. Shaw later said about the abuse, "I'd be lying if I said it didn't affect me. There were times I went home and just thought about quitting football completely." Jose didn't just bench Shaw, he actively made fun of him in training. According to team insiders, he stopped practice sessions to point out Shaw's mistakes in front of everyone, calling him useless and not good enough for the Premier League. Once he even shouted, "I'm making all the decisions for you. You can't think for yourself." By December 2018, Shaw was playing with so much fear that he was afraid to make even simple passes. A player once seen as England's future star now looked like an amateur scared of his own shadow. His confidence was so destroyed that teammates would avoid passing him the ball in tough situations. Former United player Wayne Rooney later said, "What happened to Luke under Jose was basically mental bullying. I've never seen anything like it in professional football." Victim number 3, Marcus Rashford. This is perhaps the saddest story. A homegrown United star, a local boy every fan loved. By the start of the 2018-19 season, Rashford had already shown he could become one of the world's best strikers. His amazing speed and natural scoring ability reminded people of a young Thierry Henry. But Mourinho simply refused to give him enough playing time in his best position. Instead, he constantly criticized the young forward for lack of experience and inability to score goals. He forced Rashford to play on the wing, a position that didn't fit his skills, then criticized him for not playing well there. In one of the season's most shocking moments, after Rashford missed a scoring chance, Mourinho dramatically turned away and covered his eyes, showing the whole stadium how disappointed he was with the young player. The cameras caught everything, a deliberate act of public humiliation aimed at a 21-year-old academy graduate. "Mourinho didn't understand what Rashford meant to the club," said former United coach Rene Meulenstein. "You don't treat your own academy players like that. These players are the heart and soul of Manchester United." By the end of the year, Rashford had scored just 3 goals in 14 Premier League games, the worst record of his career. A young talent who should have been getting better was instead getting worse right before our eyes. His famous smile disappeared, replaced by a look of constant worry every time he stepped onto the field. Victim number 4, Anthony Martial. The French winger, bought for a huge amount of money, began the 2018-19 season as a player ready for a breakthrough. In his first season under Louis van Gaal, he had already shown flashes of brilliance similar to a young Thierry Henry, scoring a memorable goal against Liverpool in his first game that had fans singing his name. But to Mourinho, this meant nothing. He publicly stated that Martial doesn't understand what it means to be a professional and lacks discipline. Behind closed doors, things were even worse. Martial reportedly faced constant criticism about his work rate, with Mourinho once telling him, "You're talented, but talent alone gets you nowhere." The breaking point came when Mourinho insisted on buying Alexis Sanchez for Martial's position, pushing the Frenchman to the bench and taking his number 9 shirt away. The result? One of Europe's most talented young forwards spent most games on the bench, losing form and confidence each week. Watching Martial under Mourinho was painful, said French football journalist Philippe Auclair. It was like watching someone slowly suffocate a talented artist. By December, Martial was so unhappy that his agent publicly announced the player wanted to leave the club. A footballer who could have become United's new star had turned into an unhappy and unmotivated professional. His body language on the field told the whole story. Shoulders down, head low, the joy of football completely gone from his game. The end of the story. On December 17th, 2018, Manchester United fired Jose Mourinho after a bad 3-1 loss to Liverpool. The club paid him about £19.6 million to leave, an expensive lesson in how not to manage talented players. But what happened after he left tells the real story. Under new coach Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, United won 8 games in a row. Pogba scored 9 goals and made 7 assists in 12 games. Rashford returned to his best form, scoring in 5 straight games. Shaw became one of the team's best players, eventually winning the Player of the Season award. Even Martial started scoring regularly, finishing the season strongly. This wasn't just a coaching change, it was freedom from a bully who used public humiliation and mental pressure as his main methods. The same players who looked hopeless under Mourinho suddenly played with freedom, confidence and joy. Perhaps the most telling comment came from Shaw, who said after Mourinho left, "I can actually enjoy football again. For the first time in years, I'm happy to be on the field." Mourinho's time at Manchester United shows how even the most successful coaches can destroy players when their ego becomes more important than helping players grow. In just one season, he almost ruined the careers of 4 exceptional talents who, thankfully, were strong enough to recover once freed from his toxic influence. Who do you think was the meanest coach in football history? Let me know in the comments.